you're questioning every last thing that God tells you to do. I'm a very loyal, consistent individual to everybody around me except for to myself. See, I really feel like a lot of us don't stay consistent because we don't see the depth in that. We don't see the purpose. There's so many gains that come from the gym, but the thing that I gain the most is myself, because motivation is not something that you wake up with. Motivation is something that you have to give yourself every single day. Nowadays, my answer is God. That's when it was easier for me to stay consistent. And that's exactly where you want to be. You want to be moving season to season to season. Don't ever get stuck in the same season for far too long. You're going to be with the same weather and you're going to get uncomfortable. It's hard to wake up, but it's such a blessing when I do. Yeah. Good morning. Go be great.
Blood dripping from my arm, just wanna feel inside. Too afraid to open up, so I'd rather hide. Man, I'm just so grateful that I made it this far. Almost thought I had to call my mama in a cup car. Benny's everything. One of those mornings, like, I don't even want to talk. It gets harder and harder and harder to wake up this early and to be out this early in the cold and to be working out and to be doing all the things, man. Ooh. I'm really glad that I'm doing these vlogs. Because even if nobody really watches them right now, I know that they'll be there for me to look back on in the future, because this whole journey is so hard. Like, I wish I would have started recording sooner, because it's so easy to record, 30-second, 1-minute long videos for TikTok, and not show the backside of everything, not show the raw hardships and the struggles, and it's hard. It's hard. And so I'm glad that I've been given the green light, that God told me to start recording these videos to show that every morning is not a walk in the park. Every morning is not easy. And this is what it comes with. I really believe that this is what I asked for when I gave God my yes. I think one of the biggest misunderstandings that I had was that when I started walking with God and chasing my calling and going after all of these things, that life was going to be easier, that life was going to be less stressful, there were going to be less hardships, because when you got God in the mix, nothing can go wrong, right? Wrong. Very wrong. It definitely is easier in the sense of every last obstacle comes with peace. Everything comes with so much less fear, because I have God right there with me. I have God right there fighting for me. There's so many times God puts me right on his back and he's like, come on. Like, we're getting across this finish line, whether you had to crawl or get on my back or whatever, like, we're getting across this finish line. And so it comes with this sense of peace where I know I don't ever have to fight alone, but you still have to fight. And I think that's something I did not understand in my little mind. Like, why am I still fighting? Why am I still working? Why am I still running? Why am I still getting hurt? Like, all of these things, it's so hard. It's so hard. And to be honest, I think that that's what holds a lot of us back. Like, we all want the from pain to purpose testimony without going through the pain. And the second that we start going through anything hard, we give up. We stop. If anything, most of us take that as a sign to stop, when really that's part of the process, baby. That's just part of the journey. That's part of life. And it's so necessary. Like, everything really is that deep, like, I'm chasing my calling. I'm not just getting up early and going to the gym. First of all, the gym and my physical health is just a teeny tiny aspect of everything that I'm after. Like, there is so much depth
to everything that I'm doing. And I really feel like that's what a lot of people miss. You know, they feel this inkling, they feel this intuition, that they feel something that tells them to go after more, and now they're tasked with doing all of these different things that they don't understand. And they're like, why would I wake up early? Why would I go to the gym? Why would I be on YouTube? Why would I, you're questioning every last thing that God tells you to do because it doesn't quite make sense, and you don't see how that's about to bear fruit. And so you stop, and you stop because a lot of times you don't realize the depth in all of it. Like, I don't just get up. I know that this is like shaking, and I really don't know why, and I wish I knew why, because it's like really bothering me. But people ask me every single day, and they have my entire journey, which I think is so ironic, because what I was dealing with a lot, what I was struggling with a lot when I first started my journey was consistency. I was like, okay, I want to give God my yes, and I want to chase after my calling, and I want to do all these things, but I'm not a consistent person. Like, I quit everything for myself. When you put me in charge of something for my child, I got him. Put me in charge of something for my friend. Like, I'm a very loyal, consistent individual to everybody around me except for to myself. And so when I started something for me, I would always stop. I would always quit because failure was always my comfort zone, right? And so the only way to fail is to quit. And so I would quit everything to make sure that I stayed in that comfort zone. That's crazy. Anyway, I was really nervous about staying consistent, and so I questioned God. I'm like, God, I can't do this. Like, what? This vision that you gave me, you want me to do that? Like, I'm confused. Do you not know me? Because I'm not consistent at all. I'm not inspiring at all. I quit everything. Like, I questioned God so much at the beginning of my journey. And so I think it's funny because since my journey first started, every day I get the same question of, how do you stay so consistent? And I'm like, I don't know. No. And every time I have a different answer because I keep getting more and more and more and more reasons to stay consistent. Nowadays, I feel like I stay so consistent because I realize the depth in all of it. I'm not just waking up early to go to the gym. I'm chasing something. I'm fighting for something. Like, I'm growing, I'm expanding, I'm stretching every single morning when I wake up, and I get up early and I put my little 10 toes on the ground, and I'm like, let's get it. You're gaining so much. You're gaining self-discipline. You're gaining strength. You're gaining endurance. You're gaining perseverance. You're gaining something every single day. Not to mention, you're staying obedient. You're teaching yourself to trust God, to stay obedient, to trust the story, to trust, like, what? When you realize the depth in that. See, I really feel like a lot of us don't stay consistent because we don't see the depth in that. We don't see the purpose. We're not lacking purpose. We're lacking the understanding of what the purpose is. And because we lack that understanding, we don't go after it. And when we do go after it, we stop. We stop because we don't get it. It's not clicking. The only thing that I did different from a lot of people is I made sure that it clicked. I made sure that every morning, even when I was struggling, I found purpose. I found reason. Why am I doing this? I'm not doing this for a bigger butt. I could care less about the workouts. Do they feel good? Yes. Is it building my body to something that I appreciate? Absolutely. It's making me breathe better, feel better, act better, have more confidence. There's so many gains that come from the gym. But the thing that I gain the most is myself. The thing that I gain the most is my purpose. The thing that I gain the most is the relationship that I have with me. The trust that I now have within myself. The trust that I now have within God. I have been to the gym 6 days a week for the past year and a half. Now, I did go on vacation once or twice, so I obviously didn't have a gym nearby. I just had to give that disclaimer. But I've stuck to my routine the entire time. Whether I was sleeping at my guy's house, I pack a bag, let's go, let's get it, I gotta bounce. Whether I was out late at night with my friends, I gotta get it, I gotta bounce. Like, I stuck to my routine the entire journey. And the way that I was able to do that is because I found purpose, because I stayed right there by God's side the entire time. I'm like, if I feel like I'm struggling, I'm opening the Word. I'm putting a godly podcast on that can give me some direction. I'm finding influencers or people, even friends that motivate me, right? I be hopping on my guys live all the time nowadays. Like, let me get some type of inspiration. Let me get some type of motivation. I fuel my motivation every single day. I have to. You have to. And if you don't, you're going to quit. It might not be now. It might not be next week. It might not be next year, but you're going to quit eventually, because motivation is not something that you wake up with. Motivation is something that you have to give yourself every single day. And if you don't, well,
go ahead and find out what happens. I'm not gonna find out. Y'all be safe. That Telluride is so gorgeous. When I tell y'all, I can't wait to get one. I can't wait to get matching ones. Anyway, like I said, I've answered that question differently throughout my entire journey because my answer has always been different. God has constantly been expanding me. Right? Nowadays, my answer is God. Like, I stay so consistent because I stay right there next to God. I'm always making sure that God is right next to me. Like, you gonna hold my hand because you said you would. Don't do that. You are not leaving me. And God will never leave you, but you have to continue to seek him. God's not gonna sit right there at your door and force you to be by his side. Seek him. And he will always be right there. And that's what I do. I'm in my word. I'm in my prayers. I'm always seeking God. I'm always praying. I'm always talking to God as if he's my best friend right here working out with me. Like, I'm always seeking God. I always feel so much better after the gym. I always feel so much better. I even did a little 10-minute like hydro lounge thing with the little water. Y'all know what I'm talking about if y'all be going to Planet Fitness. I got me a little massage after and it felt so good. It felt so good. Whew. Anyway, I was finishing up a little interview that I had started this morning when I was getting ready for the gym. And so I finished it up. And man, when I tell you, it hit my spirit, child. I had to send it to my guy, like, hey, check this out, because they was spitting some words on here. One of the highlights that he said, it was Pastor Mike Todd, who was doing an interview. It wasn't a sermon. He was doing an interview. And one of the things that stuck out to me, he said, I stopped counting my successes from win to win. My success, I count from storm to storm. When I tell you, I was sitting there like, whoop, there it is, child. Like, and that's what I was just talking about. Like, we go through hardships and obstacles and we think that that's a mean to stop, that that's a sign to stop, that's a sign to give up. When in all actuality, if you're not going through any storms, that means you've been in the same season for far too long. Because with new seasons comes what? Different weather. And every season comes with different things, right? Even in the summertime, you hit that point where it's too freaking hot. It's like, I couldn't wait till summer, but now I'm sick of sweating. Like, I'm tired. I've been hot for too long. I can't wait for the next season. Like, you get uncomfortable in every single season, no matter how good this season is when it starts. And I'm telling you, when I started viewing my storms as less of a storm and more as success, that's when it was easier for me to stay consistent. Because every hardship is not a sign to give up. Every hardship is not a sign that I'm in the wrong place, that I'm on the wrong path. For me nowadays, every hardship is proof that I'm moving into the next season. And that's exactly where you want to be. You want to be moving season to season to season. Don't ever get stuck in the same season for far too long. You're going to be with the same weather and you're going to get uncomfortable. Ooh, he was preaching. Preacher. I love when I feel unmotivated and I just put a prayer up and I'm like, God, show me what you need me to see. Point me in the right direction because I need a boost. Like, I need something. And God always comes through. It's like the wildest thing. It's the wildest thing. God be like, okay, go watch this. Or I'll just randomly come across something in my spirit. Will be like, oh yeah, I really want to watch this. I don't even know why. Like, I don't know how I came across that episode, but that episode was exactly what I needed in this moment. Like, I needed that reminder that every hard season is not the end. If anything, every hard season is just the beginning of the next season. Like, every hard season is preparation for your next. It's never the end. It's always just the beginning of something. Ooh, I'm glad I ran into that. I'm going to link it below, of course. I'm going to put it in the description so you guys can go watch it. But it was a really good interview. Yeah, it was a really good workout. It was a really good interview. It was a really good morning. I'm blessed to be able to get up early and handle my business and check in with myself and hang out with myself intentionally every morning. It's like, it's such a blessing. It's hard to wake up, but it's such a blessing when I do. But yeah, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. We're in the middle of the week. We almost made it through. So if you're struggling to make it through the week, you're almost there. You might as well continue. Yeah. Good morning. Go be great.